And Bill said, it's what triggered me to ask her to be here. I want this on my LinkedIn profile. This shit Mike teaches really works. All right, so welcome from a mindset level, since we were doing that work with Francis, and from a strategic level, what had a shift for you? Because you still got really good results the last 3 months.
So I shifted my mindset immediately, but then I also started integrating with my team certain standards that had to be met, and just really, number one, focusing on giving the team and the team giving each other evidence that things are going well. Number one on my list was we shut the news off. I tried so hard not to watch the news, and it's very difficult, but if you watch the news, you will come away depressed. And if you're depressed, there's the evidence that everything's depressed and everybody in the world is depressed. So number one rule, you got to shut the news off. And then the number two rule is especially once we all had to evaporate and we're all working out of our homes, we had never done that before. We had not had any kind of remote positioning. I quickly tried to figure out, okay, how can we share evidence among ourselves that things are working well? Every day at 4:00, we would just do a real quick check-in. Tell me something good that happened, a job order, a candidate, an interview, or a placement. In May, we had a good May. In June, we're just knocking it out of the park. In June, we'll probably do over $300,000, which we haven't had a $300,000 month in probably 6 or 7 months. This mindset issue is so critical because it's really how you think about business. You just have to maintain focus. The sharing of evidence of things positive, I think, was really critical. The other thing that was critical that we learned, so again, in February, we had a boardroom meeting. And when we walk away from those meetings, we have projects that we're going to accomplish over the next 4 months. And one of my projects was implementing a coaching plan. And this is something that Mike has brought to us before. Well, in the coaching plan, basically, in the past, I would meet with all my people once a month, and we'd review the numbers, and I would tell them where they needed to fix. Hey, you need to do this. You need to market more. You need to do this more. You need to do that more. It's always more, right? We started meeting with everybody one-on-one for 30 minutes every other week, and we would just sit down and we'd look at the numbers, their activity levels, and I couldn't express an opinion on anything. I could only ask questions. That was my rule to myself. And it is so hard to do that when you're used to being able to just go do this and you'll be all right. One of the people that had been with me for 18 months, she's a recruiter, only does the candidate side. Well, she billed $65,000 in the last 3 months. She should be smiling, doing butt bounces. She had 60 recruit call connects, but only had one profile. And I don't think any new resumes. And I'm like, and so we just went through a series of questions. What do you think about this? And is there anything in your personal life that might be impacting you that's holding you back or what have you? I probably went around 8 questions. I just sat back and said, I'm really struggling. Can you think of any reason at all that you made 60 connects and you only came up with one profile when normally that would mean what? Probably 5 or 6 or 7 profiles. And she just took a deep breath and then she just busted out crying. It was just like an emotional, just like boom. And I just like, oh shit, this works, and she realized what it was. Really cool experience. Truthfully, there's a lot of positive underneath this, although that aspect of it was negative. So now we can have training for her. I can add training for the search consultant. It was amazing to me as if you can let them find the issue, it's just so much more empowering and so much more, they just own it. I think it's a real big piece of it is just staying engaged, because if one of the things is, and we talk about the mindset, you're looking for evidence. And if all of a sudden you come in one day and you don't make the marketing calls where you didn't get any job orders, then all of a sudden next thing you know, well, nobody's hiring. I'm like, it's fast, right? You can do that just that quick in your head. And so trying to keep them consistently marketing, consistently pushing. During recessions, there's areas that you can still make money. And you just have to find what's the discipline that everybody's hiring. There's always going to be somewhere somebody needs something.